before the start of NFL free agency, the Broncos are re-signing defensive tackle DJ Jones, according to DNVR Zach Stevens. So let's break down this signing a little bit in a very unique edition of the Broncos Breakdown. I'm filming today's video from my bathroom because my fiance is asleep. We have a house guest in our living room, and that left me with just one vacant room. So let's break this one down as I sit on the toilet, but don't worry, not in that weird way. So let's talk about the DJ Jones return, because this is, I think, a pretty good signing, or re-signing that is, for the Broncos. He was coming off a very strong season. He was a very important piece in the middle of that defensive line. And I know the big guys that don't get a whole bunch of sacks get a lot of credit or a lot of recognition, but Jones was a huge reason why the Broncos were able to lead the NFL in sacks. And you want to know why? Because he helped make sure they stopped the run on first and second down, and that put opposing teams in tough situations on third down, forcing to pass the football. And that's when Jonathan Cooper and Nick Bonito can really pin their ears back and just go quarterback hunting without having to worry about the run. So I like this re-signing for the Broncos. I saw Jeremy Fowler toss out 1 year, $13 million. I'm not going to say that is a done deal and a done number. So just be a little patient as I film this right now, at least at 10:22 p.m. Mountain Time, as for what that final contract number will be. I'd be a little surprised if it was that high. Keep in mind, he just came off a 3-year, $30 million contract, which paid him, an average of $10 million a season. And I don't quite know if he was going to get a raise from that number, but it doesn't really matter. It's great to see him come back. I'm seeing Zach Allen quote tweet Zach Stevens with the, I don't even know, something from the Bush administration, that gif of like, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. So clearly his defensive line is happy to have him back. And I think from a just defensive perspective, this is a good player to bring back, right? This defense was great last year, and it was a very big season in terms of what the expectations were and the overachievement in so many ways, and the building blocks and the steps they took from year one under Vance Joseph to year two. So to bring back, the big 93 right up the middle, I think that's going to help this defense continue to play well into 2025. Now, I also think there could be some slight draft implications by this re-signing. Just a 1-year deal, so maybe not anything too major, but a topic we've talked about before on the channel is, hey, with Denver picking at 20, there's so much uncertainty for what's going to happen the 19 picks before them. And if Ashton Genty, Tyler Warren, and even possibly Colston Loveland go before the Broncos are on the clock, it's a very good interior defensive line class, and the Broncos just don't have a lot of youth growing at that position. They've made some attempts at it, right? They drafted Matt Henningsen from Wisconsin, Iome Wazurike out of Iowa State, but neither one of those two guys have really produced much at all, and one of them is not even on the roster anymore. So it seemed like a good time to, hey, maybe kind of re-water the interior defensive line depth chart in the draft, since it's such a deep draft class at that position. But with DJ Jones returning, that may fall down the priority list just a little, but he's still 30 years old and just a 1-year contract, it looks like. So I don't think it completely derails any efforts or plans at adding to the defensive tackle position in the draft, but maybe it's not as big of a priority anymore. So let me know what your grade is for this DJ Jones re-signing. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F in the comment section. I'm going to give this one a solid B+. I mean, I don't really have a good reason why I'm not giving it an A, other than, no, I'll just give it an A. Screw it. Why not just give it an A? I like the re-signing. I do. So I don't need to be looking for something to critique about it or be so pessimistic. I like the re-signing. Let's give it an A. Make sure to subscribe, by the way, to the channel while you're giving me that grade down below. I really don't know if any other YouTube channel breaks down a video from their bathroom because I can't film it in my living room, and I gotta kind of do it in secrecy. So it's like a half whisper right now. But yeah, make sure to subscribe to the channel. All right, let's pick up a little bit where we left off. DJ Jones, as we talked about, coming back, re-signing. This is now the third re-signing for the Broncos, by the way, before free agency begins, which here's the timeline. Legal tampering starts 11 a.m. Eastern time on Monday. Legal tampering means teams and agents can start talking to one another. Players cannot, and that's where we saw some teams get in trouble last year when Saquon Barkley talked about speaking with Howie Roseman, and it's like, wait, you're not allowed to talk to Howie, just your agent is. And Kirk Cousins talked about speaking with like the head athletic trainer. It's like, Kirk, you're not allowed to talk to them, only your agent is. So Monday to Wednesday, players with agents can speak, or the agents can speak to teams and just start working on contracts. And then Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, that's when the new league year begins, and that is when contracts can actually be signed. I'll say every single year there is a contract that is agreed upon, and then when it actually comes time to sign it, usually it's the player who goes, wait a minute, I'm not a big fan of this part of the contract. This happened with Denver really quickly. Remember Randy Gregory? He was going to go back to the Cowboys. It was the Cowboys plan to re-sign Randy Gregory. And then there was an element to his contract that he didn't like, and he's like, screw this, I'm out. I'm going to Denver instead. They gave me a very similar deal. So just keep that in mind as we go through the legal tampering period. But the Broncos re-signing Jarrett Stidham to be the backup for Bo Nix for another season. Long snapper Mitch Fabroni, 3-year, $4.1 million contract for him. And now we've got DJ Jones coming back. So overall, all three good re-signings. I feel like, well, I won't comment on the long snapper, but from a backup quarterback position, I think Stidham, clearly did a good enough job to impress Sean Payton to go like, this is someone who's going to make sure Bo Nix is as prepared as possible and is supported by the rest of the quarterback room. I think the backup quarterback position, it has so many different, it's like an onion where so many different layers to it, right? If you're a backup quarterback on a team where it's an open competition for the starting gig, then you want to get the best quarterback possible. But if you're a backup quarterback to a young quarterback, a first, second, maybe third-year player, then you want to have maybe a little bit more of a veteran backup who can help the younger player just adjust to the NFL game speed and preparation and all that. Where if you have a backup quarterback who's been in the league for 8 to 10 years, he doesn't really need to be there to help the starter prepare so much. You kind of just want a backup that you can trust to, if needed to, play a few games if an injury happened to the starter, but more often than not, it's just about being a nice guy that people enjoy having around the locker room, and that's how you end up being like Chase Daniel, and you stick around the league for a long, long time. So those are some of the re-signings we have seen so far. I'm going to sign off. DJ Jones, welcome back to Denver, and everyone else, get some sleep. I'll see everyone bright and early tomorrow morning for day one of NFL free agency as all the bullets start flying around and we're going to get lots of transactions.